Hello, everyone. This is Anthony, and today we are going to be talking about a very difficult game to talk about. So difficult that I have put this off for a bit, and we will get to why that is as we get deeper into this review. But today we are going to be talking about a game called Omen of Sorrow. You may have heard of it. You may have already seen reviews of it. And, this is a game. You know what? Let's just dive right into it. The story, evil woman wants evil book, and good people aren't gonna let her have evil book. That is the best I can make of it, because the story is hard to follow for comical reasons. One, the cutscenes are boring with whoever is voicing it. It's boring. But when it's not boring to listen to, it's boring to watch, because they use the in-game models against these backgrounds and they look really weird because the lighting is off, and it's jarring. It looks like it was kind of rushed to make these stories, and they don't mesh very well. And I'm going to even throw in the fact that it has the audio glitches and the skipping and the nonsense kind of dialogue they share. Sometimes it's funny and entertaining to see characters like Gabriel go off the rails, because you know that's going to happen. But otherwise, we can just throw that story away. We can just move past the story and get into the main fighting, which is rough. And I say rough, but I want to also mention that it presents some good ideas. It's just really hard to say that those ideas were executed well. One thing I found very interesting was the screen size. If you've ever played it, you'll notice that the screen is very huge. It's not very easy to get a corner carry. Like, you have to be really offensive to get to the corner. And by the time you get to the corner, you've probably already won the match. Now, that leads this game to be more, I guess, footsie based and more to the ground. I mean, there's not a whole lot of aerial battle. There are some characters that have good aerial attacks, but for the most part, it's a lot of footsies and trying to get your combos in and stuff like that. It's not very corner heavy. I mean, so that's a plus for some who may not like always getting juggled in the corner like you would be in Street Fighter or something like that. Now, as far as the combo systems in place, you have, of course, your regular meter that lets you do your super and your EX attacks. But then on top of that, you have the Doom meter and the Bless meter. The more offensive you are and the more combos you land, the more your meter goes towards Bless, which means then you can cancel special attacks into special attacks, or what they call bold canceling. Typically, that takes more of that meter, and the more of that meter goes down, you get into Doom territory, where some of your specials are locked out, you can't block, and you're pretty much punished for playing defensively. I want to harp on that for a minute, because I'm glad it promotes aggressive play, but it punishes you so hard for being defensive, and I think that is insane. I mean, making it harder to block, okay. Locking you out of moves? Why? What? Why? That is absurd, man. And what compounds a lot of these issues is that you have recoverable health as you become more offensive. This game really wants you to be all about attacking, continuously attacking. And for some characters, that's feasible. For other characters, not so much. If you're playing in Hotep, it's going to be a little bit difficult for you to always be on the offensive, because a lot of his moveset isn't really geared towards offense. It's geared more towards control. it's not very good for every character. It'd be nice if you had this, more balance towards every single character, but it really isn't. And that's one thing I think really holds it back, is that the balances in place aren't very balanced. I mean, you got characters like Vladislav, that is arguably the best character in the game. If you ever seen him play, you'll know why. His mix-up game is insane, and a lot of characters don't have a whole lot to deal with it. You have characters like Adam, I believe his name is, who have ridiculous damage output because all of his command grabs are comboable. And then you have characters like Gabriel. I don't know what they were trying to do with him, but I don't think they accomplished a whole lot, because sometimes you can get some good offense going with him, but other times it's like, I'd rather pick a better character. I'm not going to say he's terrible. I'm not going to say he's great. There are certainly worse characters. Like Dr. Hyde. He is awful. Ugh. My point is, the balancing is not great. And the systems in place don't exactly help. Recoverable health makes the fights just kind of feel like they drag on and on. The fact that you're heavily punished for defense, and I guess you're greatly rewarded for offense, it's a lot to kind of navigate in your first couple battles, but you get to learn the flow of it. But then that means you have to keep playing it, and then you have to deal with the several glitches that, to their credit, they have been patching as they are found. But so many are found. Whoo boy. Like, there was a time I played with the werewolf, and I just got stuck. I was just stuck for seconds until I finally was able to move. Things like that can just happen at random. You never know what kind of glitch is going to pop up. This game is very glitchy. And, man. I'm sorry. The more I think about it, the more I love monster movies, and I love games that incorporate monsters like Killer Instinct. And this seemed to be something in that vein, where you take a lot of monsters and you put them in the fighting game, and it's going to be great. I wanted so much for this game. I did. And I got a lot. Just not a whole lot of good. This is a rough game. However, I don't want to just completely dump on it, because I think there are some ideas here that are nice. I think that they have some ideas in characters and the execution of some characters that are very interesting. Like in Hotep, I think he's probably the most interesting character in a fighting game I've seen in a long time. I think the way you're supposed to play him is very complex and very different than the way you play a lot of other characters in other fighting games. I like that. I like seeing weird stuff with characters. I like seeing people mess around with what a fighting game character can be, as opposed to a record character that just attack, or, a zoning character that just kind of throws things that you have to, get around. I like stuff like that. But a lot of the execution is brought down by that system that heavily punishes you, that health is so recoverable and it happens so fast that the fights just seem to drag on forever sometimes. The fact that some combos, you're really not, I guess it takes some experimentation, but sometimes things don't work the way it's intended. And the game, to look at it, is sometimes not exactly the most pleasant. Some animations are a little jank. Some of the visuals are just kind of bland. And then, of course, who knows what glitch is going to happen when it happens. So all of that leads me to say that Omen of Sorrow is a bad game built on good intentions. If I had to give it a letter grade, I would give it a solid C. If I had to give it some kind of numerical grade, I'd probably give it maybe like a 5 or something like that. Should you buy it? No. At least not at this current price point. I think it's still going for around $40-$50. Maybe 20 or 15? That sounds more reasonable. But for 50, 40, even 30, no. Save your money. Buy other indie fighting games. I'm always saying support indie. I still do believe support indie. But this is something you can't support until it's more reasonably priced for what it is giving you. So, I hope this was informative. I hope you have a good day. And I hope in maybe a year or something like that, this game can be something I can recommend more confidently. All right. Have a good one. Follow our social medias. Follow our Twitters. Catch us on Spotify. And I'll see you later.
Counter. Doomed. Fallen. This is your end.